Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And this 10-minute moan is another wind turbine scam by the SNP. The previous videos have highlighted how much waste selling off our wind turbine leases was, because we sold off 80% of the leases, we put a maximum price on it, and we brought in something like about 700 million quid, right? And the companies, every single one that we gave the leases to, were foreign. And two of them were the national energy of Spain and Norway. So it was a complete farce, right? Now we find out that over the next 5 years, we as a country are going to pay £500 million to put the infrastructure in place for these wind turbines that we've pawned. So we'll end up with a pittance, and if we say we're 500 million, it will cost us more, right? So we'll end up probably maybe breaking even on the deal. Then what will happen is all these foreign companies that own the wind turbine leases will generate power and sell it back to us. And if it's anything like the deals we've already done, we give them guarantees that if we can't take the power off them, we'll pay them anyway. And if we do take the power off them, we'll buy it at base rate plus a surplus, a surcharge, because it's green, right? And today, it gets even better, because we have announced that we're given 5 million quid, or sorry, the SNP have announced, and their nice wee thing says, we are investing £5 million in Orkney's offshore wind future, creating jobs, boosting growth, and leading the green revolution. And they're not. What they are doing is giving 5 million quid to a council so they can maybe look at possibly building a harbour that the boats can come in to assemble the wind turbines. Not a definite, right? Because this project is called Scapa Deep Water Quay. It's a proposal at this point. And it's going to cost, they've already put out for tender for £200 million to build the thing, and have applied to the UK government for the grant for that. They're actually present on a reserve list. So the British government may or may not give them the money at some point away down there in the road, right? So, what do they need money for? Well, the way you read the press release that the Scottish government's put out is a bit weird. Let me just find it. Where are we? Here we go. So, today, on the 10th of February, at 11:50, the Scottish Government put on their website a press release, growing Orkney's renewable potential. Potential. You need to be very careful and listen to the words, because it's just farcical. Investment in significant offshore wind project. Well, it's kind of not. It's a key to let the boats come in, because it's dead deep there, to build the things. So it's not for the offshore wind projects. I'll come to them in a minute. That's a bigger scam, right? Ambitious plans to create a major new renewables hub in Orkney. Plans have been accelerated with a £5 million grant to help take the project to the next stage. Now, what does that mean? We'll read between the words. It's a plan at this point, and the grant of £5 million quid will help take the project to the next stage. No build anything. The funding will further the development of a new harbour facility for assembly of offshore wind turbines at Scapa Flow, the largest natural harbour in the Northern Hemisphere. The Scapa Deep Water Quay will help to attract inward investment to the area, creating a new cutting-edge hub for offshore wind. By cutting-edge hub, they mean a harbour where the boats can go and assemble the things to take them offshore. So once that's done, I'm sort of stuck to know what this £200 million is going to do after that. Because once they're built, they're built. The cables will run onshore. It's somewhere else, no Scapa. So the whole green thing is done at that point. Once the turbines are done, it's done. So we're spending £200 million for a place to assemble these turbines that are made all over the rest of the world, not here, right? So they'll get a single use almost at £200 million quid. Supporting the expansion of wind farms off the coast of Scotland and Europe. So we're going to do the Europeans a turn now. This will be interesting. The grant comes from Highlands and Islands Enterprise and is part of the Scottish Government's wider strategic investment of up to 500 million over 5 years to develop offshore wind supply chain, right? The income we've got is under 700, I'm sure it was 680 million, and we're getting 500 it away, right? To build the infrastructure for these foreign companies to put their wind turbines on the leased land, or the leased seabed, basically, right? So what do we get out of it, right? Whew. So announcing a new funding whilst in was Orkney. So he's up in Orkney and he's managed to, get them all smiling because he's told them he's giving them 5 million quid. But you need to listen carefully. Accelerating Scotland's offshore wind capabilities is crucial as we prioritise maximising Scotland's vast potential in renewable energy. Not only are we striving to take our place at the forefront of global green energy revolution, investments like this help us generate a just transition, right? This landmark project will help attract private investment in the area. Why? Where from? We've already got that money. It's spent. We've done it, right? So what are they going to pay us more money for? They don't get this. Creating new, highly paid jobs. Doing what? Putting turbines together. Guiding the boats in. Unlock enormous economic opportunities for the Orkneys. People actually believe this nonsense. This is another example of how, together with local government, our partners, we are delivering our collective priorities of growing the economy and protecting the planet. It is buzzword bingo. Now, where's the bit? Director of Strategy at Highlands and Islands Enterprise, he came out with some the proposed Scapa Deepwater Quay is set to help advance the industry to the next level. It will help attract inward investment. He's got the same buzzword bingo card, create jobs and drive economic growth in Orkney. This is again the proposed, not confirmed, no getting built, no actually started, Scapa Deepwater Quay. It's a proposal. Now the best quotes. This is from the leader of the Orkney Island Council, Heather Woodbridge, who said, "The funding award from Highland and Islands Enterprise demonstrates the Scottish Government's understanding of the importance of the energy, not only here in Orkney, but to Scotland as a whole. Securing the funding unlocks the potential for Orkney alongside the wider industry to further explore and develop a vision for our role in the continued growth of renewable energy." So they're just looking at plans. 5 million quid. Oh, where is it? But there was an absolute belter. So this thing is a pipe dream. It's no confirmed. So the 5 million quid. Where was it? There was another the funding for the PCSA, don't know what that is, will ensure the council has access to all the information it needs to make an informed decision and bring the project to the next stage. So this 5 million quid is for hee-haw jobs. It's for hee-haw further investment. It's just to try and get this project another step up the ladder. Now, who would benefit if we eventually do the 200 million quid, right? And we set this thing that's just a project, and it's allowing this 5 million quid is to allow the council have access to all the information it needs to make an informed decision and bring the project to the next stage, right? So who would benefit? Now, when you go up to the Orkneys, if you go to the west of it, there is lease being sold for, I think it's called West Orkney Field, right? To put these offshore wind turbines, right? And that one was won by, let me just find it, bear with me, offshore, right? Green Investment Group, right? the west of Orkney wind farm is a joint venture between 3 businesses. So there is only 2, right? Deal with the west one first. That's a bigger one. It's owned by a joint venture by Macquarie's, sounds Scottish, Total Energies, could be for anywhere, and RIDG. Now, RIDG are the smallest. They own 15% of this joint venture. The biggest person that owns 47% of it is Macquarie's Green Investment Group. And you go, well, they sound kind of Scottish. Then you go on to find that they're not. And they are an Australian multinational investment bank, Macquarie, right? So this one at the west, they own about half of that. The next business that owns a part of it at 38% is a company called Total Energies. Total Energies is a French multinational energy company. And the smallest one, the 15%, is actually owned by, we actually found a company called Renewable Infrastructure Development Group Limited, who are registered in Scotland and look like they're owned by 2 Scottish guys and an English guy. They only own 15% yet, right? Between the 3 of them. And the best bit is, their registered office is 7 to 11 Melville Street, Edinburgh, which is the same address for Yes Scotland Limited. Right? Now, I don't know if there's any connection between the 2, right? What we'll say is, it could be an office, one of these just used to register a company. But it might not be. I don't know. And I'm not going to go mad digging deep in it, right? Because they own 15% of this thing, right? The rest it's all owned by an Australian mob and a French mob, right? So that's the first field. That is the first field. And the second one is a floating one, right? And it's called, where are we? The Ayrefield, A-Y-R-E. It is a floating wind farm to the east of the Orkneys, right? So that might get a bit of benefit for this 200 million quid that we are putting in, £5 million just to help with the project, right? Now you think, it's owned by Thistle Wind Partners. You think, well, that sounds dead Scottish. So, who are Thistle Wind Partners? Now, they are a joint venture between DEME Group, Quair, Q-A-I-R, and Aspiravi International. Now, TWP, the Thistle Wind Partners, is registered in Edinburgh, right? But the 3 people that own that are them, who are Dredging, Environmental and Marine Engineering. They're Belgian, right? The next one is Quair, who I can't find out where they're, because they just described themselves as European, right? But the guys listed as directors are all Dutch and French, right? So I'm kind of thinking that a lot of their stuff, businesses they deal with are ending in NV. So they're predominantly a Dutch company. And the last company out of the 3 is Aspiravi. Now, Aspiravi, where did I get them? There we are. They are owned by a holding company called Aspiravi Holdings. And guess what? They're Dutch, right? So, let's summarise this, right? We've pawned those 2 wind turbine places on the cheap to foreigners, apart from 15% of one company who happen to have the office, the same address as the Yes Scotland Limited, which is a bit weird, right? And we're going to pay 500 million quid over the next 5 years to put the infrastructure in to allow these people to have their turbine businesses that we will guaranteed will buy the energy that they create off them. And if we can't buy it, we'll give them a amount of money. And if we do buy it, we give them whatever the going rate is for a kilowatt at the time, plus a subsidy, because they're green, right? It's the biggest scam this side of US aid, right? Because what we do is, we give them all the money. Sorry, we give them all these leases, a maximum price, which we put an auction together and said these are the maximums you can charge, right? I don't understand the logic in that, but we've done that. We brought in about 680 million quid. We're going to pay over the next 5 years a minimum of 500 million to put infrastructures in place to let you have your business that we're subsidising. And we wonder why Scotland has no industry, no money, and no hope. Because these crackpots don't know how to add up and subtract by the looks of it. They just love putting wee memes on their social media. There's another £5 million that we're putting into Orkneys to make green and jobs. No, you're not. Your £5 million is to help the council have a look at all the information available to help them possibly, maybe, build a thing that's 200 million quid. But we have to say thank you to the SNP. This rant has went on a wee bit. I do apologise. I hope it was cut down in bite-sized chunks, that you did actually understand it. If not, ask me the questions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit subscribe and the notification bell. Comments below, always enjoy them. Please put them, plenty of comments. But most importantly of all, unless you're the SNP who try to kid on everything they do is fantastic, when in essence, when you look under the layers, it tends to be a lot of nonsense. Well, not you, but
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.